Let me see something. Okay. All right. Hopefully we good. Thank you for joining me this morning. This is episode 288 of the Sports Blog, February 10th, 2025. Thank you for joining me today. Um, Thursday, of course, is one of our normal days. Of course, last week I did Tuesday. I got to check my schedule for next week. But hopefully we can get a show in next week as well. Thank you guys for joining me today. Not a huge show today, but depends on how the show goes. But I am on time today. 9:30. That's usually my target time. Um, my bro, he wasn't dragging his feet today. He got up out of here, so um, I was able to go live on time today. So thank you guys for being here. We at 326 subscribers. That is our highest we ever been. So thank you guys so much. Like I said, we've been hovering around 324 now, but we up to 326. Hopefully, with the premiere of Forever Skies, I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the show. That will prepare. I will try to at least get a video up on that sometime tomorrow afternoon. Um, that's when that will premiere. But we got a lot of projects I'm doing right now. I need to slow down with the video game playthroughs, but I'm here to put out content, so I don't mind it at all. I try to do as much as I can throughout the day. It's been a rough week this week, to be honest. A lot going on behind the scenes as always, but try to get myself together. Um, but thank you guys so much for being here this morning. Of course, we're gonna look at the MLB, the current standings, even though it's still early in the season. So basically, it's nobody separated from the pack yet. The Dodgers cooled off a little bit. We'll talk about that. And I touch a little bit on the tragedy that happened in the DR and the Dominican Republic at the nightclub. A lot of former MLB players um, it's either passed or they had family that was there at that club as it collapsed. So I will touch a little bit on that. NBA, what about my man Luka? So happy for Luka Doncic. He's one of my favorite NBA players. Went to Dallas, had a great game. Dallas, I think, did well with the tribute and everything for him. We'll touch on that and look at the playoff picture as this is the last couple of days of the season. Um, Basically, everybody is clinched. Everybody that's in the playoffs will be in. The play-in, I think, is set in both conferences. We'll look at both. Still just jockeying for position. And we look at the Nuggets situation. Of course, the shock heard around the world this week. Mike Malone and the GM was fired at the same time, right before the playoffs. That's probably the more shocking thing. Um, so I give my thoughts on the Nuggets and that situation. And the NFL, we'll touch a little bit on the draft. Um, of course, Shador Sanders, of course, is being talked about a lot. But we'll touch on just the main, probably the top 10 picks and just other prospects coming up to the draft. The draft is in, I think, 2 weeks from today. I think it's the draft, yeah, the 24th. Right. So 2 weeks from the day, it'll be round one. They do it different now. Well, it's been for a few years. Round one is at, the primetime night show. And then rounds 2 through 7 is what, now through Saturday. I think Sunday. Um, Saturday is the last day, not Sunday. It used to start on Fridays. I think it used to start on Thursdays. What was it, Friday? I know it used to be basically the weekend. Friday and Saturday would be Friday would be like rounds 1 and 2, and then the rest of it was Sunday, Saturday and Sunday. Um, but yeah, this changed now. Now it's more of an event, which I think the NFL is smart. Everybody love the NFL. NFL pretty much be in the news all year long. So we talk about that as well. And then congratulations to the Florida Gators and the Lady UConn Huskies once again. Of course, Lady Huskies, they used to be on top 12 championship for Gio Yomiama and the Huskies, the Lady Huskies, and the Florida Gators were their third title in their history. Um, that team was resilient, was down against Houston, was able to come back. We'll touch a little bit on that stuff as well. But first, we just start with baseball, of course. Like I said, we're gonna touch on the DR tragedy, but first let's just take a quick look at the standings, and maybe if something jump out at me, I touch on that particular team. But of course, in the American League, the East. Um, right now, as we speak, the Toronto Blue Jays is in first place at 8-5. Yankees right there at 4-5. Everybody else under 500. Boston at 6-7. Tampa Bay at 5-6, and the Baltimore Orioles at 5-8. So both of my teams are in last place. My Braves, of course, right now had the worst record in baseball, or tied with I think with Chicago White Sox for the worst record. Speaking of the Central, Detroit is your leader right now at 7-5. Kansas City right there at 6-6. Cleveland 5-6. Minnesota at 4-8, and the White Sox are 2-9. Like I said, this is so early in baseball. You don't really start seeing real separation until near the All Star break. Really, after June, going up to the All Star break, you might see a little separation. Then you know, so um, next week, both all this could be flipped. So just the current standings right now. Um, and speaking of the Blue Jays, Vlad, um, if they gave him his contract, what was it? 12? Is it a 12 or 5 something? But a nice contract. Which I think he deserved. The Blue Jays, it was rumors that they were trying to move him and all that, so that put all those rumors to rest. I heard rumors from my brother as well. Like everybody was saying, well, that's why they got Sartar there. Even though he's not off to a good start right now for the Jays, but I'm glad they got that done. He's the face of the franchise. I think it'd have been stupid to let him walk or to trade him away. So it was smart to lock him up. And all the rumors, he came out and said he's glad it's done. Now he can just focus and play baseball. And the Blue Jays, like I said, this whole division, any of these teams are capable of having a great season. So maybe now this might propel the Blue Jays to maybe be that shock team from this division. AL West, Texas Rangers were off to a good start, 9-4. Angels as well as 7-4. Of course, you expect much for the Angels. Houston, they started off slow last year. They had 5-7. Seattle Mariners 5-8, and the A's are at 5-8 as well. But it's like I said, it's early in the season, so you can't really go off there. Even though I think Texas is going to be around the whole year, we'll see what the Angels do. And I think Houston will be fine. They always start off slow. Um, the East in the National League, Philly. I watched a little bit of them last night. Beat my Braves again. My Braves are struggling, man. Just lost. They'll get to a deeper hole. 7 under is not that bad, but if you get to like 10 under, it's gonna be hard even earlier this season to come back. Mets at 8-4. Miami Marlins even at 6-6. Washington 5-7, and my Braves are 2-9. But like I said, I think they'll make a comeback. They're just too good. We get Ronald back, I think, in May. Like I said, I think last week. So just gotta hang on. Just avoid sweeps, for right now. Avoid sweeps. Try to start winning some series, and maybe you can crawl back in it. We'll see if Miami or Washington can continue their pace, but you don't expect it. Mets and Phillies are going to be there. They're just too good as well. So Braves just can't get too deep in the hole. Central right now, Cubs at 9-6. A lot of people did pick them to win this division. I do Milwaukee because they do it every year. They're at 7-5. St. Louis at 5-7. Pittsburgh 5-8. Cincinnati 5-8. But I think this division is going to be tight all year. Like I said, I think especially Pittsburgh and Cincinnati with the young talent they have. The Cardinals, to me, is the team. I think they'd be decent, but I don't see them making a run. I think, they need to rebuild. But I think it's going to be the Cubs or the Brewers in this division. In the West, Padres, not a surprise, but they got the best record at 10-3. Giants at 9-3. Dodgers cooled off a little bit, even though 10-4 is still a great record. But they right now are third in the division, but they start off hot. They getting healthy. Freddie Freeman posted like they come back tonight, so the Dodgers are just deep. So don't Shohei doing his thing. So Diamondbacks, they just beat the Orioles yesterday, so I seen a little bit of them. They gonna be around. Like I said, National League is stacked now, just like the American League is. Um, well, really, the American League is really the East, but still, a lot of good teams. Colorado Rockies are at 2-9, so the Rockies, the White Sox, and my Braves are all tied at 2-9. Um, my buddy, good vibes, man. Rockies, man, they got. I don't know what they're gonna do for the foreseeable future, but right now they're in last in the West at 2-9. Yeah, a little sad news. Like I said, people probably heard about it. It's probably more, uh, well, it's sports news because a lot of athletes from the Dominican is affected by it. Like Pedro Martinez came out yesterday and said his family's still missing the collapse at the nightclub in the DR. Um, they said Otavio Dotel. I remember him. He was a good reliever for the Astros. He was there. He didn't make it. He passed away. It was another player. But it's a lot of, like I said, the Dominican Republic, as far as for baseball, has pretty much kept it alive as well. Everybody want to point back to the summer '98 with Sosa and McGuire. Yes, that helped get baseball back after the strike in '94. They was losing fans and everything, but the DR, like the players from the Dominican Republic, is probably, and I don't know if I'm over exaggerating, but I would say at least almost half the league has some Dominican descent. Um, and even the players before today and yesterday, David Ortiz, he's from there. Pedro Martinez, as I mentioned. It's a lot of guys. You name so many guys from the DR. So this was a tragedy. I don't know. I didn't really dig deep into like how they think this happened. But they say it's over 125 people has lost their lives. Um, I don't know how the structure is. I'm sure a lot of stuff will come out later on. Maybe they can find out exactly why this happened. But it's a tragedy. It is affecting a lot of people from the DR. So thoughts are with you guys. I love a lot of Dominican players. They feisty, they passionate, they great players. Um, I think after you saw Dantes, it's so many guys from the DR. Um, I think Vlad Jr. And Vladdy Senior. I think they Dominican descent. So um, and they pretty much is baseball now. Just gotta admit it. We got still our American players there, but it's a lot of DR players in the MLB, and I think that's what kept it alive throughout all these years, from maybe from the '80s on to today. So my thoughts are with um, the people of the DR and the people that lost their lives. So unfortunate tragedy. Um, so just my thoughts are with you guys. Oh boy. Okay. So let's transition to the NBA. Um, well, I'm gonna definitely talk about Luka. Um, I'm gonna touch on that, but let me pull up the standings in the NBA. Just of course, we got chaos the next couple of days because we know who's in the playoffs, but we don't know where the seedings will be, who will be in the play-in. I think in the East, the four teams that's there are going to be there. I think the six teams up top is set. Actually, let's look at it right now. Um, let's see. Okay, we're in the East. Cleveland, they clinched the 1 seed, so they will be the 1 seed. Boston will be the 2. Knicks, I think the Pacers might still have a shot for the 3, but basically it's going to be the Knicks at 3, Pacers at 4. I think it's pretty much set. Milwaukee will be 5 because they got games in between. Detroit will be that 6 seed. So if this holds, we got two first round matches. We got Knicks in Detroit, which I think is going to be an interesting series, and Milwaukee, Indiana. Also, they got a little rivalry because Indiana knocked them out a couple of times, I think, these last couple of years. And then Milwaukee without Dame, so that's going to be a tough series for them if that holds, which I think it will, because I think most teams only got 3 games left. So if you 2 games out or 3 games out, you pretty much set your spot. Orlando, they go be the top. Um, the top seed in the play-in at 7. Even though I think they still got an outside shot to catch Detroit, so that's probably why they don't have a clinch spot yet. But then everybody else is bunch. Atlanta and Chicago got the same record. Atlanta on the tiebreaker, obviously. Well, no, Atlanta got a one less loss. Sorry about that. So Chicago could own the tiebreaker. So Chicago could move up to 8. 7-8 is where you want to be because, like I was explaining to my brother and other people, you get basically 2 shots to get in. If you win, you win. You lock yourself in the 7th seed. Of course, you'll get Boston. Um, then the loser will face the winner between the 9-10, and then that winner will get the 8 seed, and you will get Cleveland in the first round. So that's how it is in the East. Um, but these other teams, Miami made it, Chicago clinch, and Atlanta clinch a play-in spot. Orlando can still possibly move up to the 6th seed, but unlikely it's going to happen. It's only they 3 out with, actually 3.5 out. So they're not gonna. They're not gonna catch Detroit. So they would be in that 7th spot probably for sure. But we don't know who's gonna be 8, 9, 10 yet. So everybody else in the East eliminated, of course. Toronto, Brooklyn, Philly. We know who how disappointing year they had. Charlotte and the Washington Wizards. They all are done now officially. Western Conference, OKC, they clinched about a week ago now. They're your 1 seed. Houston, um, basically I think they clinched a 2. I don't think the Lakers could catch them. Speaking of the Lakers, of course, so happy for Luka last night. It was a good moment. I watched some highlights. I didn't see the actual game. I watched the highlights, and I saw when they gave him the video tribute. Um, and everything. He's one of my favorite players in the league now, and I think now he can play a little bit more. He been playing well for the Lakers of late, which is good because the playoffs are about to start. Um, but he just played very, very well. He had 45 last night. 45. I think 8 and 10 assists, something to that nature. Um, and the Lakers, you see how the Lakers, bonded around him. He was very emotional about it. Basically couldn't control himself with emotion when he saw the video. He didn't want to leave Dallas, and I guess that's the crazy thing. He didn't want to leave. Um, the Mavs made a lot of excuses. Well, right now it's easy to say that the Lakers clearly won this trade. But we'll see. We gotta give Dallas a chance to see what they're gonna do. Nico Harrison, of course, been dragged through the mud by the Mavs fans and everything else. But I give him credit. One thing I give him credit for, he's confident in what he done. He don't seem like he had no regrets at all. He said he got a plan in the off season, so he believed in his plan. Obviously, ownership believed in his plan because this was an ownership decision as well. The ownership, if they didn't want this to happen, this wouldn't have happened. So that's why you can't put all the blame. If you want to blame, you gotta blame the whole front office, not just him. You gotta blame ownership as well. But right now, don't Dallas, they gonna be a playing team. We about to go deeper down to the standings. They clinched that because Phoenix lost, so Phoenix is eliminated. Um, this is it's just unprecedented. Like you just don't see this ever. Like trade your prime player that they want to stay. Like when a prime player gets traded, usually they ask for the trade. The team usually, try to build around you and do everything in their power to make you successful. But all these rumors about Luka, not taking the game serious at times, being out of shape, all this other things. Um, like I said, we'll never know, really know. Um, but see like little small little stuff come out every day to justify this trade. Um, but of course, it don't like I wouldn't have done it. I think half of the world would have done it. More than half of the world probably would have done this trade. But I give Nico credit for standing on the square. He's like I watched the show this morning. They was well, he's been at the games. He's still been coming to the games, even though the crowd be booing him every night, saying fire him and all this other stuff. Ownership must believe in him, so we gotta give this a chance. We gotta give this a chance. We gotta give it at least this off season. Um, Hopefully Anthony Davis, who's been injury prone, he stay healthy. Kyrie come back. Then you build around those two guys, even though they're more veterans, more of a veteran team. That's why a lot of people say this didn't make a lot of sense for Dallas either, because all the guys, Anthony Davis is older and more injury prone than Luka. So, but I like I said, I love Luka's game. I love to watch him play. He comes through at the biggest times. Like he's not afraid of the crowd. The pressure shit like it don't get to him. You see what he did last year, carried this team to the finals. Um, yeah, Boston was just a better team, but Dallas decided we're gonna go a different direction. So we got to see how things turn out. But I'm happy for Luka. I'm happy he came back and had a good game. Now I think the Lakers gonna be more loose. Well, it's him in particular, because now you're not thinking about this game. Um, we're not gonna get him in the first round. That's it's impossible. You're going to get whoever the six is. So at least you won't have to play them unless they make a run. You won't have to play them in the playoffs. So that would be crazy though if that would happen. But I don't think I think Dallas is going to be if they make the they might not even get out the play in. But if so, I think OKC or Houston will beat them in a 7 game series. Um, so Lakers, like I said, they in third place. Look like that's where they're gonna lock. They only gotta win one more game, and they will be locked in three. So Houston, I think, is a guaranteed at two. Now Denver Nuggets right now at four. I think they did win last night. To stay in that four spot. Of course, the firing of Mike Malone was a shock to everybody, as well. The timing of it, the GM as well. But they say it's been tension between him and the GM for the last like 2 seasons. Um, just tension all around. But the timing to me was puzzling. Like right before playoffs, that Denver has been sliding a little bit. Sliding a little bit. They was afraid they might fall into the play-in. I think they still possibly could if they lose out and teams went out. But it's a log jam of teams. Like I said, the West is going to definitely going to depend on where you fall and what the matchups are. But Denver's going to be dangerous anyway. Like Jamal Murray, of course, is the X factor. He has to be there and be healthy and be ready to go. Um, but with Jokic, like I said, how he's playing and having another MVP season, might win it again, possibly. Um, but I think it's SGA's though to lose though this year. I really feel that SGA might get it this year, but Joker, he's unbelievable. So in a 7 game series, different with the experience, you just never know. Depends on who you get. They're going to be a tough out no matter what. Right now they fourth, but the firing of Mike Malone was a shock. I couldn't believe it when I saw the news. It was crazy. But yep, that's what happened. So Nuggets got to pick themselves up. Maybe they could try to make a run. But I think it's gotten a lot tougher for them now without Mike Malone. Yeah, they said the intern coach name not. I should have probably wrote it down. But they said he's been under Malone for years. Malone, I didn't know he's been there for 10 years. I knew he was there a while, but I didn't know he was there 10 years. So it seems like time flies. He's been there 10 seasons. So, um, but now all the reporting is that either he was going to be gone in the off season, or both, like they did, or one of them was definitely going to be gone because it just wasn't working. A lot of conflict between Mike Malone like to play veterans, I think the GM wanted to go young, so I think that was conflict of interest there. They were saying so a lot of stuff behind the scenes going on, but the ownership decided to do this now, which I don't think. I understand if they'd have let the GM go now because you're in the season, so it's not like you can improve your team anymore going into the whole season. Then maybe if they wanted to let Malone go, wait till after the run is over, but they did it now, so um, sometimes weirdly this can make a team play better. So maybe they hoping on that, and maybe they could overachieve the postseason. But I mean, I still have them as a somewhat a contender because of their experience. So that's my thoughts on the Nuggets and all the situation with that. Clippers at 5. Clippers starting to get a little bit of traction. Kawhi quietly is healthy. Zubac has been playing well. James Harden is playing well. So the Clippers is a dangerous team as well. So watch out for them. Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant. I'm gonna touch on him in a second, but they let their coach up with like last week in the middle of this, right before the playoffs as well. Um, this team, I just think, they're not afraid of anybody. I think that's what their strength is. They go toe to toe with any team. They don't back down from any team. So I think that's going to be their power in the playoffs. Hopefully, they can stay above 6. They're 6 in the West. Golden State right there. Also Minnesota, Sacramento, and Dallas. They might can flip, but they're going to be 9-10. That's your 9-10 game. That's locked for sure. We just don't know who's going to be the 7 and 8 in the West, which will be interesting. But the touchback on the Grizz and Ja Morant, of course, you heard about him doing the gun gestures. He got fined for it, I believe, because he did it twice, 2 games in a row. But now he switched over to a grenade gesture. I guess throwing a grenade. I when everything happened last year, actually one of my videos did well. I did a short on it. I just did a little quick short and gave my opinion on it. And he's one of my favorite players as well. Like he's one of my favorite players. I love watching him play. Of course, last year was rough for him off on the court as well. He couldn't stay healthy. He had to be shut down for the season. He's definitely talented. I don't want to get all into because a lot of people say his dad is an enabler, which he probably is. It looks like he is. How over the years what's went on with his dad. Um, basically they said he got a lot of enablers. So that's one of the issues. I mean, I think like it's. I mean, I guess I'm gonna put it like this: like if everybody got to answer to somebody. Period. Even you can name anybody, just about anybody. Gotta answer to somebody. So I believe he should just play basketball. That's what everybody's saying. Just focus on playing basketball. I don't know exactly like if do we got a grip against the NBA. Do we, there got to be something else going on with him. Which I hope he's okay with that. As far as off the court, he's had. At least he said that. He had some mental issues. He was stressed out. You know, um, the pressure of the NBA and probably carrying his family, stuff of that nature. So, um, I just hope he's all right, and he, just yeah, he's still a young kid as well. And I only call him a kid because I'm about 15 years older than the guy. I think he's in his like mid 20s still. So, um, I just hope he kind of just calm down. Lay low. Everybody said, but see, he's the type that and that's one thing you gotta think about also. He's never been the type to lay low. This has always been him. But I just think whoever enabled him need to somebody need to tell him the truth also. Like, look, bro, like this is not what it is, man. Like, you already lost money over even the stuff off the court with the hit the kid and all the stuff that happened about 2 3 years ago. Still haunting him. So I just hope he gets it together. I'm rooting for him. I like him as a player. And as a man, he just maybe he just gotta mature. And I hope, I mean, everybody criticizing his dad. I hope his dad really do be telling him, try to guide him in the right direction. I hope he's not just sitting back and just, you know, I don't want to say collecting the money, but just benefiting off Ja. I really hope that's not the case. I just hope that's more over exaggeration. So, but unfortunately, like I said, we'll see. We'll see. Um, we will definitely see how this turns out. So, all right. So, like I said, the rest of the stats. So Memphis at 6. So, like I said, the playing teams right now will be Golden State and Minnesota, which would be a great playing game. Sacramento and Dallas, they're going to be 9 and 10 for sure. We just don't know who will be 9 and who will be 10. And then everybody else eliminated. Phoenix was officially eliminated last night, I think, with a loss. Portland with the same record at 35. Like I said, Portland to me, that's a quiet. Even though with 35 wins, nobody expected them. I thought they would have like maybe in the 20s at the most. So to have 35 wins and pretty much right there, almost at a play in 3 games back. Even though they eliminated, but Blazers look for them next year to make a push. Spurs, we know what happened with them this year. Wemby had to shut it down. They did get the De'Aaron Fox, so we'll see how they look next year as well. New Orleans, a lot of question marks. What's going to happen with Zion and the rest of the franchise? So we don't know. The Pelicans sort of in purgatory right now. And Utah slowly building a nice little young team, but just don't have enough right now. It's probably gonna take them a few more years to get in the competitive realm. Um, so that's your Western Conference Finals. I mean Western Conference standings. Um, so I think Sunday is the last day of the season. So by Sunday we'll know everything. We'll know the playoff matchups, the play-in matchups. I think the play-ins start next Tuesday, I believe. What is the 15th? It's Tuesday, right? Yeah. So I think 15th is Tuesday. Yeah. So I think that starts Tuesday. So we'll see how they shake out in the NBA. The first round probably don't start till the following weekend because the play-ins will be played and the seedings will be all taken care of. So, all right. So let's move on to the NFL. NFL. I want to focus on the draft. We'll probably focus on the draft the next couple of weeks. Um, well, of course, now, the big topic of succession is Shador Sanders. Let me pull up the draft order, especially with the first round. Yeah, here we go. That's what I wanted to pull up. Um, yeah, basically, now a lot of this negative energy starting to come out about Shador. Um, now they're saying, well, he never had it strong, but now they focusing on the stuff that he can't do. Um, Tennessee pretty much they decided they probably go with Cam Ward at 1. We'll see what Cleveland do at 2. They could go quarterback as well. That's what they were saying with Shador, but then now they sort of probably lead to Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter, that's gonna be an interesting situation. My opinion on it is, I think he should play both sides, but I think he should play mainly defense and then have a package for him on offense. I think that's how it should go for him. At least the first couple of seasons, maybe he can play. He wanna play both sides of the ball full time. And I think he's capable of doing it. But I think at least this first year, let's get your feet wet. Definitely defensively, I think he's more needed, honestly, um, for most of these teams. So, um, Yeah, to play defense full time for sure. And then maybe, like I said, I think somebody will probably put an offensive package together for him. New York Giants picked third. I think they're going to stick with their veterans. They got two veterans in Wilson and Jameis Winston, which is uh, weird, but the Giants just want some stability there, so they might go with the best available. New England not picking the quarterback. They got Drake May at 4. Jacksonville got at 5 with Trevor Lawrence, where they got money invested in him. But I'm starting to I'm starting to I won't say side eye, but I'm starting to Trevor Lawrence, is he as good as is he expected to be? That's a situation to keep your eye on in Jacksonville. Raiders pick 6. That's maybe wish they might go quarterback if it falls there, even though they got Geno. New York Jets, they locked up Fields, so they might go with the best available. Carolina with Bryce Young. New Orleans has been the team. They said Shador. They might be interested in Shador as well. So watch out for them at 9. Bears picked 10th. They got Caleb Williams, obviously. Niners got Purdy. They locked him. Well, they about to lock him up with a contract. At least it's kind of quiet down, but it's not official yet. Dallas with Dak, so they're not taking the quarterback. Miami got Tua. Colts. Colts would be interesting. You know what? The Colts are interesting now. Anthony Richardson. I like Anthony Richardson. I think he could be good in this league. I think he just need time. They signed the veteran. Well, you could call him a veteran now. Daniel Jones is there, so they still sort of need, like, if let's say Shador falls that far, or any quarterback that they like, they might take it. So look out for the Colts there on draft day. Atlanta got Penix Jr. and Kirk Cousins is still going to be there, so I believe so. Atlanta not looking at the quarterback. Kyler Murray's in Arizona. Joe Burrow is in Cincinnati. They 16th, 17th. Seattle. Got Donald. They could take a quarterback, and I said that I don't think Shador go fall down this far. Honestly, to me, I don't. If you want him, you have to trade up to get him. But Seattle got Donald, but I think they should think about a quarterback. Tampa, Baker is the guy. Bo Nix for Denver at 20. Steelers, I heard this morning, the Steelers starting to have interest. The Steelers are just in shambles right now as far as quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, like I said, they trying to wait on Aaron Rodgers. I think it's something already done. It's just not official. But I really believe I think something was already done. I just think he don't want to go to OTAs. I think they're going to sign him probably after the OTAs is over. If they don't, but if they draft, like, somehow, because they say they interested Shador, somehow if Shador becomes available somehow at 21, or if they trade up, they get Shador. I think that Aaron Rodgers, he got to get some pressure on him, because then Pittsburgh might just like, well, we might as well just throw Shador out there, and just don't even sign Rodgers, because Rodgers is going to want to play, and then Mason Rudolph, even though he's not, you know who Messi Rudolph is, but he's still serviceable. So if push comes to shove, he can step in. It's going to be interesting in the next couple of weeks. I think if the Steelers trade up, you know what their intentions are. At least that's what they putting out there. Chargers got Herbert at 22. Green Bay with Love at 23. Minnesota got McCarthy. They said they sticking with him, but that's an interesting spot. You might need a quarterback there, maybe, if you don't really fully believe in McCarthy, or for a backup plan. Houston got uh dang it, what's his name? Good God Almighty! I hate when I get into these brain farts here. Let me see. My bad, y'all. Y'all probably, like, if somebody was in here, they probably be screaming. CJ Stroud. Dang, I could not think of CJ Stroud name. Sorry, man. Sorry, CJ. You don't deserve that, man. I just get sometimes that's one of my issues. I need to work on. I need to write more notes. Like I write a lot of notes, but I need to just write notes. Just but I don't know when I'm going to have these. Sometimes it just happens. But sorry, CJ Stroud. Yes, he's um the quarterback for the Texans, so they ain't looking at no quarterback. LA Rams is interesting, even though they brought back Stafford, even though it's still rumors they might trade Stafford. I just think the Rams are probably thinking about getting younger there. That's probably all it is. With that situation. Ravens with Lamar, of course. Lions with Goff. Um, Washington with um, uh, Jaden Daniels. Bills with Allen, of course. Mahomes with Kansas City and Jalen Hurts. So, of course, all these teams they were the deep playoff runs. They not looking for quarterbacks in the first round. So, but it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, the two biggest things I want to see will trade up. Because it look like Tennessee is really locked in on Ward. So Shador, we're gonna see what happened with him during draft day. If Pittsburgh is interested in him though, they're going to have to trade up because I think New Orleans probably serious about him, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders still pick him even though Geno's there. Um, I would be surprised if the Raiders still get him. Um, but the later rounds, like I said, the only team I can see in the later rounds, let's just say the draft, nobody trades up or anything, or maybe one of these teams will trade up. But Minnesota, I think it's possible, in my opinion, because you don't know what JJ McCarthy is still. He haven't played and he was injured. Rams, just to have somebody that's young. Um, but that's it. I mean, for us at the bottom, and Pittsburgh, of course. I think everybody else is set with their guys. So we'll dig deeper into the draft next week. We'll be a week out. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta look at my schedule. I haven't even looked at my schedule yet. I ain't been trying to focus on, you know, my schedule work. Um, but I gotta work this whole weekend, so I'll probably take a look at it this week. I mean, when I get off of here, and just I'll let you guys know. Because the days I could do, like I said, Thursdays, Wednesdays, and Tuesdays now. Tuesday is an option, so it'll be one of those days for sure. We'll go live. Look at by then, like I said, NBA playoffs will be set. We'll look at the MLB still, see how the status have changed, and we'll look more into the draft also. But the two biggest things for me, I want to see who's going to take Travis Hunter and Shador. Like if he does fall, how far would he fall? Will any teams trade up to try to get him? They're the two things I want to see if that happens. So, all right, so that's pretty much the end of the show. Some people popped in. Somebody gave a like, so thank you so much. Also share the video if you really enjoyed it. Just a few congratulations. Like I said, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, NCAA tournament was a good tournament, both sides, the women and the men. Of course, some people didn't like that there wasn't a lot of upsets, but I think, like I said, it's far from over now. Now that the NIL deals are legal and everything, I think more of the top schools are going to start being dominant, and the lower schools is going to be hard for them. A little harder now for them to compete. But I mean, you might still see upsets, or if you look at it this way, those smaller schools that have juniors and seniors playing, if they keep their team together, that always, no matter what you say, that always better. You can have one great player on one of the bigger schools. Sometimes it depends. The talent sometimes mostly wins, but a veteran team that's smart and could just play together, sometimes that helps as well. So it's a lesser two evils, I guess, with that. But congratulations to the Lady Huskies again, dominant. They dominated South Carolina, which was a surprise. I was surprised that they won the game, um, but the way they dominated that game, just defensively, just all over the place, just scrappy. Um, Paige, um, for UConn, she'd probably be the number one pick now, um, with her performance. UConn was just dominant in that game for the women. The men's side, Florida, I think it was down by as many as 12, came back, beat the Houston Cougars. Houston Cougars was a heartbreaking loss after giving Duke a heartbreaking loss. They've suffered one in the national title game. Um, that kid, the junior, um, the guard, the light skinned guard, he was great throughout the whole tournament. Um, that Florida team is pretty good. And I'm a Florida fan, so I was happy that they did do it. I picked them just more because of a fan that I thought, I thought, like I said, I really thought Duke was going to do it. After I watched the first weekend and the second weekend, I thought, yeah, Duke probably going to win this thing. But Houston was able to pull through and win. Um, Florida against Auburn, that was a tough game in the Final Four. But then they was able to finish the job and win the title. Um, so congratulations to the Gators and to the Lady Huskies. They are your two NCAA basketball champions this year. Of course, Huskies have done it 12 times. It was Florida's third championship. Um, just a channel update. Like I said, I got so many projects going on, but my latest project, and then we probably going to try to. I'm gonna have to try to slow down. I got so much stuff going on with the projects, but Forever Skies. This was a game I've been following for about a year now that I was interested in. Finally came out. Well, it's about to come out tomorrow. I did pre-order, so I got the early access. So basically, you can look it up, but it's a game. It's a game about um, I wouldn't even call it space because Earth is just in shambles. Like it was basically it was unlivable because of a disaster. And then you go back and just harvest and try to repair the Earth. So I think it's an interesting game. Kind of remind me of No Man's Sky, a game that I played that was popular on the channel a few years ago. That game's still going. I'm thinking about re-downloading that later on, maybe this year. Once I finish most of the projects I got now. I got a lot of projects going on at once. I got Silent Hill 2, Spider-Man 2, um, Deathloop. Um, what else we got going on? I'm kind of stuck on Pacific Drive. That's another game we got to do. Dragon Ball Sparklet Zero. I haven't played that in a couple weeks. I need to put some more videos up on that. I was trying to do the stories on that one. So that's what I named, like 4 or 5 games right there. So all those are going on at once. Like I said, every once in a while I pop a Call of Duty video on you. Um, so I got a lot of projects going on. So, but that's the latest one. Then we're gonna just focus on these ones until we're done, and then because as far as I know, it's nothing else that I'm interested in. And I also I don't mind your suggestions. Like if it's a game you want me to play that I normally don't play, like the Assassin's Creed. There's other games out there that I just never was into. I mean, I like Assassin's Creed, it's okay, but it's not a game that I never ever played. But if it's a game that you really want me to play, yes, I would consider um, downloading it and playing it. Just for you. Um, and but yeah, we got a lot going on. Like I told you, this year was going to be big, and we're going to continue to go. Like I said, sorry about this week. Not only why I'm saying that because just been a rough week for me. I wasn't going to cancel. That didn't cross my mind. I like, no, I'm not going to cancel this week. I'm still going to do the show. It's just a lot going on around me. Family members not doing well, so I just been kind of keep my eye on that. I had to miss a day at work this week, and that was rough. Kind of got chewed out. You know how that goes. It's sort of my fault though. But at the same time, people forget that you're still a human being sometimes. Um, just other stuff going on. But that's but like I said, I'm just gonna try to keep pushing and keep putting out content for you guys. If you get some more content today, randomly, you might get a Silent Hill 2 video. Silent Hill and Spider-Man 2, that's the ones I'm having the most fun with. So that's why you might see more videos of those two. I think Silent Hill 2, I'm close to being done with it. But then we got some bonus content. I'm going to definitely look into that as well. I don't know what it is. I didn't touch it. I thought about touching it now, and then just so when I do the videos, it'll be more fluid because I kind of know where I'm going, what to do. But I like to sort of play blind so y'all can see. Basically I show my mistakes. I don't edit. Um, Even if I could, I can't anyway. I only can edit but so much with the equipment I have. But even if I couldn't edit, I like to show my mistakes. I like to show when I die, when I when I when I fail. I guess I should put it that way. I won't say when I die. Gotta keep the language clean here, but yeah, when I fall down the hole in Mario, if I do it, you'll see it. If I don't, you know, and that's why some of the channels that I watch that's gamers, uh, I get it because you want your video to be clean. It's good content. It can be smooth. You can just watch it. But there's other players that I like to watch, like Blue Television Games is probably one of my one of the best gamers on here. He stick with Mario, um, but everybody loves Mario. But he shows his mistakes. Um, so I think that's what I kind of like about him. And he's just a fun guy. So I recommend you watch that if you like Mario and Sonic, like those type of retro games. He sticks with retro games as well. I try to mix retro games in here and there. And thank you guys for watching the shorts. The shorts still being watched. So I'm just going to let them sit there and keep building up views. I appreciate you guys for that. And that's all. That's all. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys for peeking through. I knew a few people peeked in. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Next week's show, like I said, matter of fact, I need to, you know what I've been slacking on? And I just was thinking about it this morning. I looked at my community wall. I ain't post nothing in almost 2 weeks. So I need to start just posting stuff there. I'm going to try. My goal is to try to post at least one post a day. But I don't be having enough to post. I'm not a social media type guy. Like I don't post anything on social media but to promote the channel. I'm not one of the people that just post. Like I'm not one of the ones that just like to post everything that I'm doing every second. I'm just not that type of person. But I want to get better at that. But definitely you'll see something about Forever Skies when it premieres. And I'm probably gonna post something today about this video. So just thank you guys for being here. We at 326, like I said. That's our high. We've never been that high before. Of course, the goal is 500. Then the goal is 1,000. Every 500, we reach milestones. So thank you guys so much. Like I said, I'm gonna try to post every week. We'll see what my schedule is next week. Hopefully, I'm off one of the 3 days I mentioned: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I remember when the show. I meant to talk about this during my 8th anniversary show last week. That we like I said, my normal day used to be Saturdays. Was my normal day. I think I used to do Thursdays as well. I did Thursdays and Saturdays because Thursdays I started doing Thursday night football. So Thursday was a normal day. And Saturdays used to be one of my normal days that I like to do Saturdays because it'd be right before, like, especially during the NFL season. I get to do my picks and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool to do it on a Saturday. Then my schedule changed. When I went to New Jersey, then started working. I was all the way off for Wednesday, so Wednesday was a normal day for a while. Then when I came back here, Like I said, Wednesdays and Thursdays was a normal day. Really Thursday, I used to do it on Thursdays. Um, so now, like I said, I would say Thursdays our normal day, but it depends on my work schedule. If I work, so. But thank you guys. Like I said, just thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the patience. Almost an hour in. Little longer than I thought I would, but just started rambling. So, but definitely check out all my projects. Like I said, if, uh, dang, what's the game called? Foreign Skies premieres tomorrow. Um, Forever Skies, sorry, Forever Skies premieres tomorrow. And just check out some projects today. I'm off today, so I'm gonna put up some videos today. So check it out. I gotta take care of one thing. And then I'll probably start. Oh, excuse me, guys. Putting up something for the day. I'm gonna try to get a lot of work today because like I said, tomorrow through the weekend I gotta work. So I'll probably sparingly put a video up until next week. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Troy West. Check out the channel, subscribe, like, share. I'm gonna put some stuff up on the community wall. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. I'm thinking about. I don't like. I might do it like after now. You can see your subscribers on your main page. So I'm thinking about like this photo, screenshotting them and putting them on the community wall just to thank all you guys. But I'm not sure if y'all, because some people don't. Even though these people, they're not private, so it wouldn't be an issue of that. But they might still don't want me to do that. So that's why I just rather pick out certain people, the people that come and comment and stuff like that. I'd rather promote you guys than the people that sort of lay in the bushes. They might not want to their name put out there. So I think about it, but I'll come up with something. But thank you guys so much. Shout out to all my YouTube family, the Roo, Dollar Hologram, my man Caper Crusader, so many other people to thank. And if I forgot you in a moment, I apologize. But know that I appreciate all of you for being here, and I see you guys next week. I'll announce I would announce it. I'll definitely make sure I announce it on the community wall so we can have something up there. And see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the NBA. It's about to get interesting. MLB is interesting as well. And we'll be back to talk about it all next week. I'm Troy West. Peace and love always. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it.